So welcome everybody to today's drop-in session. Thank you very much for taking the time to join. Today we'll be looking at styling your processes. So it's all about icons, images, text and sticky notes. So this is actually part 2 of a session that we covered in January around styling your process and workspace. It's more of like a beginner a beginner overview of the things that you can do in Spark when it comes mapping your processes. But I'm sure, even if you do have experience mapping in Spark, you might be able to pick up a few things here and there as well. So yeah, we'll go into different tools that you can use to style your processes. And then the main 4 things that we're going to be looking at is icons, images, and text styling. So let's crack on. So the first thing that we're going to look at is icons in Spark. So maybe not quite as well known of a feature, but it is there, and it can really help you in your process mapping journey. And there's quite a few cool things that you can do, which I'll show. So just in my first example here, we've just got a short process snippet around employee arrival. So if I head into edit mode, you can see here what I might want to do. I've got this box here all about reviewing the arrival checklist before the employee arrives, which will be done by the HR partner and the line manager. So what you can do, if I was mapping this process, what I might want to do, if I click the paperclip icon, you can just see down here in the quantify section, I've just added a rough duration for how long this might take. And what you may want to do based on adding this quantify information, just to show that there's a duration surrounding this, and you might not want to display this directly on the box. If I've just clicked the visibility icon here, it can take up a bit of space. So if I don't want to do that, something else that I can do, I go into the box, and if I just do a line enter, and you can see these 4 buttons here. You've got one for creating a link, one for adding an icon, adding a mention, and adding a glossary term. So what I can do is I can click this button, or I can just type the symbol out. So if I just type a colon, and you can see here it's brought up this icon picker, which has got a variety of icons, emojis, symbols, you name it, it's probably there. And you can scroll through these. You'll be scrolling for a while. There's a lot of options to choose from. So if you don't want to scroll through all of these and you have an idea of what you want, then you can just type it as well. So if I just type in clock, you can see here it's brought up 3 options here based on what I've typed. This one looks good to me, so I will click the icon, and then once I go off of it, you can just see it's placed like there. So that just tells me at a glance when I'm mapping my process. If I come back to it, I know that there's some sort of duration assigned to this step here, and then if I'm coming into the process, that will then prompt me to click the paperclip, and then I can see in the quantify area that there's a duration here for the step to be completed. And I'll just show you again. I mean, it's the same when you click the button here. If you just click the add icon button, the same thing happens. It brings this up here, and you can see I can scroll on and on forever. There's a lot to choose from, and it's just a good way of breaking up your process, just adding a bit of visual interest to it, and it's a good way to summarize certain pieces of information or to bring attention to it, as I showed. So I'll just hit save here. Let me just add the clock icon back. There we go. So another example that I wanted to show is what you can do in this landing page. So what I've done here is I've created a mock landing page for a council. So you can see here, this is what an employee might see, or someone who's using the council portal. When they open it up, you'll see we've got a bunch of options here. What I've done is I've just gone in and just added icons to each of these options. It just makes it just helps break up a lot of the information that you're displaying to somebody who might be using your process. Um, and without having to read anything, you'll be able to know that this is all to do with recycling, or if you want to find something to do with parking, it's all there. So that's um, a good tool to use every now and then. More useful for landing pages, I would say. You know, when it comes to landing pages, this is where um, icons can really come into play. And I've just done the same thing here. So if I just click into this box here, you can see I've just gone in, and if I just type in house, the same thing will come up. And that's how I've added that there. So yeah, it's a good tool to use. It can really just help break up your process, as I said. Very useful for landing pages, and yeah, it's just a good visual way to just keep things interesting. So if I just head back to our process, so we're going to look at images as well. So if I head into here, I'll just head to edit mode. It's quite straightforward when it comes to images. You've got an image box here which you can drag over, and then once you have that, you can just double click, and then you'll have this prompt here to add a piece of media. If I go in and click, it will bring up everything that is in my media library, which I'll just go over in just a moment. I'll just show you how that works. So if I head back to the workspace, we also have this section here called media. So this is, as it says, this is where all of your uploaded media will belong. You have an option to upload a file, or you can drag and drop, and you can see all of my past images are all here as well. And you'll notice here, actually, we've got some folders. So recently, a change that was made, we've now got media folders. So this will just help organize any piece of media that you upload. Instead of it all being in one place, you can keep things a bit more organized. What you can do, you can click update on an existing piece of media, and you'll see there's an option here to click on the folder, and then you can choose where you want to place that piece of media as well. And you can also replace an image as well. So, for example, if you have an image that needs updating, maybe there's a new version with new details on it, you could just simply replace the file, and then that will update across whichever processes are using that image. So that's quite useful to know. And obviously you could change the name if you wish to do so. So if I were to upload a file, I think I may have to just change the way I'm sharing my screen to show this, so bear with me for one moment. Okay, so when I click this upload file prompt, it will bring up your file explorer. So I've just got a few pictures of cats because why not? You can just select a picture, and then if you click open, it will upload the image. So you can see there's the image of the cat. And then if I want to move that, I can. So I'll just click update. I'll search for a folder. So my drop-in folder, I want to move it there. I'll click save. And now that will belong in the drop-in folder with another image of a cat. So there you go. Now, if we head back to the process that I was in, just go back to this section. So when you're adding images, as I mentioned before, you just drag an image box over here. You double click to add a piece of media, and then you can see you can either search with the media by name, or you can go through the various sort of images that have already been uploaded. You can either upload directly from here. So if I wish to do that, I can just click upload. There's another picture of a cat. And then if I click insert, there it is. So, obviously you're not going to be uploading pictures of cats, but you can use this to supplement your processes. You might want to add a screenshot, for example, if you are creating a process on how to how to use a certain application. You might find it's quite useful to add an image directly onto the process, or of course you can click on the paperclip icon and you can add an attachment, and then you can add an image onto the box directly as well. So I'll just show you how that works. Same thing here, you click add media, and if I just want to add this picture, I'll click confirm, and now it will belong on this box. And if I wanted to display it, you can see now it's actually within the constraints of the box. So that's another way to add media as well. So let's head back. So the third step that we're going to be looking at today is to do with text. So I've just got a few example boxes to work with here, just to show you the sort of things that you can do. So when you click on the box, of course, you'll be typing whatever information that you want to add. You can see here that you have an option to, there's a little box here, and that's to open the full text editor. So when you're wanting to add, a little bit more flair or some different formatting to your text, you can do that within the full text editor. I'm not going to go through every single option because there's quite a few, and a lot of them are just a variation. So you can see here you've got your basic formatting options here. You can make text bold, italicize it, strike through. You can create a code block, which might be useful for any programmers who are creating processes in Spark. You can choose the text size. You've got another code block here, highlighter option as well. And you can select the text color. These are all quite self-explanatory features. You've also got an option to access the icon picker from within the full text editor as well. So if I was to click that, you can see it just brings up that same icon picker and an option to search for whatever options or whatever icons that you wish to add to your text. You've also got options to insert a link. You can insert a piece of media. There's alignment options here. So if I was to highlight my text, I can choose to center align it, right align it. I can make the entire text bold if I wish to do so. And then, you've also got your text size selector. You also have your heading options here, which is quite useful, when you want to add, a certain heading style. You can just easily do that from here. You can see I've added heading 3 and that's changed accordingly. You've got your bullet points and table, and you can also clear any formatting. So if I, wanted to make a change to this and start from scratch, I can just highlight everything and I'll just click clear formatting, and then, it's gone back to normal. So what you can also do, if you don't want to go in the full text editor, when you're highlighting any piece of text inside the box, you'll see you've got a smaller sort of toolbar that pops up, and that just gives you that option of making any changes that you want to without having to enter the full text editor. It won't have everything, but it's just the most used tools will be here, so you can do that as well. And keyboard shortcuts also apply. So, if I want to, I can just press Control B, and that will bolden the text as well. You'll also notice up here we've got some shortcuts as well for your boxes or your text. And under the edit box, under the edit option, we've also got some more options here, which we've covered in a separate video, but it does apply here. You've got your shortcuts here as well. So do get used to using shortcuts. It can help speed up your process mapping experience. And yeah, so I'll just show you on this box. Whenever you click a So actually what I should go over is the fact that these are actually sticky notes. So all of these are sticky notes. What I did is I just dragged a sticky note over, and then I went to click on the sticky note, and then I changed the box style, and I've just changed the color here to transparent. Click save, and then I can just type away, hello world, and that's how you get like a transparent text box. If you wish to ever use that, so that's a useful tip to know. Just on the topic of box styles, when you click on a sticky note, you'll have the option up here. You can see it says box style. And then when you go through here, you've got many options. You could change the border color of your box. So, if I want to change it to this color, and then I can change the thickness. I can change the text color as well directly. Anything in this section will impact the entire box. So if I was to change the color to red and center align and click save, you can see it's applied to everything within the box, because this is for the box itself, the style of the actual box. And there's a couple of other options here which I won't go into, but you can take a look and play around with those. The world's your oyster. So yeah, the last thing that we're going to look at is sticky notes. So just covered it briefly, but there is a bit more that you can do here. So with sticky notes, you might be looking at this process thinking, where are the sticky notes? They don't really look, I can't really see any, but actually there's a sticky note here, and these are sticky notes as well. What's been done is that the box style has been changed. So as I mentioned before, when I click this sticky note and I click box style, you can see here the border color has been changed, and the border thickness. It's been made to be transparent as well. So you can just actually change the look of these to your liking. And you can see actually this is a use for a sticky note. What you might want to do within a process, you might want to supplement it with some information. For example, if you've created some beginner processes and you want to add some information to help support whoever's reading it, this is a really good way to do so. So you can see in here, there's some steps that have been added. Just looking at, checking the scope, checking if there's any missing activities. And it's right there as well. So when you open the process, you'll be able to see it straight away. So that's a really good use for sticky notes as well. And then you can also see down here what the creator of this process has done. They've added, some supporting information to the what box itself. So this process is all to do with approving and publishing a process. So you can see here on the step, select revision to be published. They've added a sticky note just with a bit of information about the permission required, and same on this side here. And they've also changed the box style as well. So if I wanted to do that, what I would do is I'll just drag a sticky note over. There are, of course, shortcuts as well. So there's a shortcut to just create it automatically without having to drag it over. So I've got a sticky note here, and then what you can do when you hover over the sticky notes, you'll notice these little sort of handles, and from here you can actually connect that to a box, and you can actually see there's handles here on all of the boxes as well, and they'll snap to it, and then you've connected a sticky note. I might just want to write something such as make sure to check spam/junk folder, and then just using some of the tips that we've looked at before, what I could do is I might hit enter. Let's see if there's a warning symbol. There we go. Perfect. I mean, it probably doesn't require such a clear warning, but I mean, it's there. And then what I can do if I go into the full text editor. So right now we're just using everything that we've just sort of picked up on so far. I can highlight all of the text. I want to center that. So if I just highlight the symbol here, there we go. And then if I head back, you can can see here, there's a warning, and then if I wanted to match the style, what you can actually do, you can actually copy box styles. So on the box itself, you have the option to off the top of my head, I've actually missed where it is, but you do have the option to copy the box style, and then you can just paste that over as well. So that will save you a lot of time. But if I wanted to do that myself, I can just head into box style, change the border thickness. Let's change the color to something like this. And you can see it's almost the same. But that's a good way to use sticky notes, icons, and then if I wanted to format the text a bit, I can bolden it if I want to. So just a few tips here and there, just to show you, if you're new to Spark, there's much to learn, much to pick up on. Lots of little things that can, just really help make your process stand out. And you always want to remember that, the person that's reading your process, it's all good to have, everything on there, but if you can make it interesting to read, if you can make it, visually interesting, and make the actual experience enjoyable, then that's always a good thing, never a bad thing. So that brings us to the end of today's job.